I remember the exact moment she walked into the hotel lobby. It was a rainy Thursday afternoon in Vienna. The marble floors shimmered under the golden chandelier lights. I stood beside the grand reception desk, wearing a crisp black uniform, a name tag that read Liam, and holding a tray of champagne glasses for the guests. To everyone around, I was just another waiter. But what no one knew was, I owned the hotel. Not just this one. I was the CEO of a luxury hotel chain spread across 10 countries in Europe. After inheriting the business from my grandfather and expanding it through sheer hard work and discipline, I became one of the youngest hotel moguls in the industry. But money brings attention and fake love. So I hid who I was. Often I'd dress as a waiter, a bellboy, even a janitor, just to observe people, to see how they treated others when they thought no one important was watching. That's when she appeared. Her name was Isabella. Tall, elegant, dressed in a designer beige trench coat, high heels clicking against the polished floor. She carried herself like she owned the world. A luxury travel influencer known for her Instagram-perfect life and sponsored vacations. She didn't even glance at me when I offered her a drink, just waved me off like I was invisible. "Bring my bags to suite 1403, she snapped at the bellboy. "And be careful, my luggage is worth more than your salary." I watched quietly. My staff looked irritated, but they were trained to smile. She was a VIP guest, booked under one of our elite packages. I decided to observe her during her stay. Each day, I watched her flirt with the hotel manager, sip cocktails by the rooftop pool, and post fake captions like, "Grateful for the simple things," while surrounded by designer goods. One evening, I approached her during dinner service. "Would you like another glass of wine, miss?" I asked politely. She looked up, mildly annoyed. "God, does nobody around here speak French?" I replied gently, "Je peux parler français si vous voulez." Her eyebrows lifted slightly, but she still didn't smile. "Just bring the wine, and make sure it's cold this time." As I turned to leave, I heard her whisper to her friend across the table. "Ugh, cute face, but too bad he's just a waiter." That night I couldn't sleep. Not because she insulted me, I'd heard worse, but because I had seen too many like her, chasing power, status, and fame, and I had made it my mission to never let someone like that into my life. But fate, it seems, had other plans. The next day, Isabella requested a private tour of the hotel for her YouTube vlog. She specifically asked for someone who knows the place well. I volunteered. Wearing my uniform, I guided her through the building, showing her the Art Deco ballrooms, the rooftop garden, the underground wine cellar. "You really know a lot about this place," she said, finally cracking a smile. I shrugged. I've worked here a long time. As we walked through the candlelit spa corridor, she paused. "You know, you're actually kind of interesting, not just a pretty face." I didn't answer, because deep inside, I already knew how this would end. After the tour, Isabella started noticing me more. She would smile when she passed by, sometimes even start a little conversation. Nothing deep, just surface-level charm. But I knew how people like her worked. They didn't care about who you were, only what they could get from you. Still, I played along. I stayed in character, the humble waiter with a polite smile and quiet attitude. A few days later, she invited me to join her for a drink after hours. She said she was bored of rich guys and wanted to talk to someone real for once. I met her on the rooftop lounge after my shift, still in uniform. She was wearing a silk dress, gold earrings, and perfume that probably cost more than my entire suit. She looked nervous, she said, laughing softly. "I'm just not used to drinking with guests," I replied. She leaned back, sipping her wine. "You should try it more often. You're kind of cute, you know." I gave her a small smile. "Thanks." She kept asking questions about my life, where I was from, if I had dreams beyond being a waiter. I kept my answers simple. I like it here. I get to meet interesting people. That night, she kissed me. And from that moment, things changed. She started spending more time with me, inviting me to her suite, telling me stories about the places she'd traveled, acting sweet, acting soft. But it wasn't love. It was curiosity. She thought I was harmless, someone she could play with before she moved on to someone richer. Little did she know, she had already crossed that line. A week later, she asked me something that proved everything. She said, "My birthday's next week," she said, twirling her hair. "What are you getting me?" I paused. "I didn't know you expected a gift." She laughed. "Of course I do. All my boyfriends get me something." Boyfriends? I hadn't even asked her out. But she kept going. "Something small is fine. A Dior bag would be cute, or a Gucci bracelet. Just don't embarrass me." I nodded, hiding my thoughts. That night, I called my assistant. I told him to start preparing something. Not for her. For me. It was time to pull the curtain back, slowly. 2 days later, I told Isabella I had a day off. She smiled wide. "Perfect. You can come with me to this private yacht party on Lake Geneva. My friend's fiancé is a Swiss banker. Tons of billionaires will be there. Maybe one of them will offer you a better job." She said it like she was doing me a favor. I agreed. We arrived at the yacht in the afternoon sun. She looked stunning, but fake. Every laugh, every word, every pose, all for the camera. When we boarded, she introduced me to a group of rich influencers, hedge fund kids, and fashion label heirs. She said, "This is Liam. He works in hospitality." They nodded politely, then ignored me completely. I didn't mind, because one of the yacht owners knew who I really was. He raised his glass and gave me a subtle nod. Later that evening, Isabella got drunk. Too drunk. She leaned over and whispered, "Honestly, I like you, but I can't be serious with someone who will always serve drinks to people like me, you know?" I smiled softly. She had no idea who she was talking to. But soon she would. The next morning, Isabella didn't even remember half the things she had said. She woke up in the suite and acted like everything was normal. She said, "I'm craving pancakes." She scrolled her phone. "Order some from room service, will you?" I didn't respond immediately. She looked up. "Liam?" "I'm not your personal assistant," I said gently. She rolled her eyes. "Oh, relax. You know I was joking." But she wasn't. She had stopped hiding it. The insults, the expectations, the way she treated me like I was just some temporary comfort. It was all getting worse. That afternoon, she posted a photo of us on Instagram. The caption read, "Even waiters can be cute sometimes. #SummerFlings." It went viral. Thousands of likes, hundreds of comments. Some of them laughed. Some of them praised her for being humble. Others called it romantic. But I knew what it really was. A joke. And I was the punchline. That was the moment I decided to end the act. The next day, I returned to my penthouse office at the top floor of the hotel tower, a place no guest ever saw. My team had already finished planning what I had requested. A full reveal event. It would take place during the hotel's annual charity gala, something Isabella had no idea I even hosted. She had received a VIP invite, of course. Influencers always did. She thought she was attending as a guest of the hotel manager, but she was about to learn the truth. The night of the gala, the ballroom sparkled with gold lights and classical music. Guests in tuxedos and evening gowns sipped champagne, whispered over candles, and made donations for children's hospitals across Europe. I entered quietly, not in a waiter's uniform, but in a tailored black suit with a custom silk tie, my real face on display. Isabella didn't recognize me at first. She was busy taking selfies in front of the sponsor wall. Then she froze. Her eyes locked onto mine from across the room. Her jaw dropped. I gave her a polite smile and walked toward the stage. The event host